Hi there, my name is Trinity, and today I'm going to be showing you all the books I read in February. In the month of February, I read 9 books, which is actually really good. That's probably the normal amount of books I should probably be trying to read. Not crazy like 12 last month. We're not doing that again. All the books I read are fairly larger books. A lot of them are like over 500 pages, which is what I consider chunky mama. I don't think I rated any of these books low. I loved all of these books. This was a fantastic reading month. I pretty much did stick to my TBR, missed a few because I was overly ambitious, which as we all do. A fun fact about this month is I actually read 4,410 pages. Don't ask me why I did that research. I just thought that would be fun. I just thought that was like a fun little tidbit because I was like, wow, all the books I read this month were chunky. How many pages is that? And then I looked it up and it was 4,410. The first book I read this month was Ladebreaker by Victoria Aveyard, the second book in the Realmbreaker series. I think there's going to be a third one. I'm not too sure. I was kind of at the end of this book in the end of January and I just kind of carried it over to February to finish it. I rated this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I liked this one a lot more than I liked the first one. We got a lot more of the characters. There was a lot more going on. I felt a lot higher stakes, more of a slow burn, which I've been really enjoying. In this one, I found that the pacing was a lot better. It was a lot quicker, a lot more like this and this and this is happening, boom, 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 boom. It was a lot better, whereas in the first one we had to get to know each other. We had to be like, oh, this is the world, this is the building. Whereas in this one, Victoria already gave us a pretty simple world, but it's very complex with the ins and outs of the magic and the characters. Really love them. 4 to 5 stars. I think it's gonna get better from here. This one was really easy to get through. I loved it. So the first book I read this month was Realmbreaker. The next book I read this month was The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This was one of the books I kind of read for like a Valentine's Day thing. I rated this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I loved this book. I did start it in the morning and finish it at night. I read this in one day, which is not that hard because it was about 260 pages. It's 285 pages, so it was so quick. I think I liked this better than the movies. I've never read a Groundhog Day type of book, so this one was very nice. It didn't feel repetitive at all. I loved our main character. Like right off the bat, I felt so bad for her because like her whole family just doesn't care about her or like anything going on in her life. She's kind of just forgotten is the thing. And I think I loved that as her character aspect. Emily goes to her grandma's house after she finds out her boyfriend's cheating on her. She goes to bed, she wakes up, and Groundhog's Day and Valentine's Day just keeps happening and happening and happening. So she's trying to find out like why. And then while that's all happening, she keeps running into Nick, literally. And I really liked Nick. He was kind of a broody boy. I didn't like him as much as I liked Wes, but I think Emily's character made up for him a lot. I will say the only reason I didn't rate it 5 stars is because I was sitting on the ground reading and I was like, the third act conflict had happened and I was like, you know what? I think this book would be better if she doesn't forgive him. Like if she just is actually like, I don't need men. My boyfriend cheated on me, cool. This guy was mean to me, cool, I don't need that. She should have done that. She should have. Anyway, that's just my tangent. The Do-Over by Lynn Painter was a 4 star. The next book I read was a reread because the TV show is coming out. And that was Daisy Jones and the Six. I wanted to reread this book specifically because there's lots of songs in the book and I didn't quite remember which song went in which spot. So I kind of like remembered the main ones, but I didn't remember like when they were happening. Just the events. I don't know if you can see. I made the colors. I'll read, I can't stop obsessing over this. I had quotes, lyrics, romance, funny, and purple is girl slang. So there is a lot of girl slang in this book. The TV series is coming out in March on the 3rd, so I wanted to reread this book like fresh, have it in my mind so that I would be able to just like really enjoy it and be obsessed with it. So I'm really excited to read it. It's still a 5 star for me. We love it. It's about Daisy and the Six is a band. It's like in the 60s, kind of like an interview style novel following from like the rise and the fall. And it's so good. And now we're gonna have actual songs. This is still 5 out of 5 stars. And she's annotated. The next book I read is The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. I read this as well for like a little Valentine's Day kind of read, because this one also takes place on Valentine's Day to start off with, and then it kind of goes into like the whole year. I rated this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Let me tell you, I've never read a Beth O'Leary book. This one was kind of like, oh, let's start here and see where we go. I loved it. This was like Fredrik Backman, the author of A Man Called Ove and Beartown, and like Freya Sampson, all mixed into one, except like, I just really enjoyed the way she told the story. We're following 3 girls who all don't really have that much to do with each other except for this man that they're all dating. And I love the little twist it took with that. I was taken aback. I was like, oh no, for sure, this is gonna happen. No, this is good. This book took me by surprise. Every character was so complex. It was kind of one of those stories where you're switching POVs, and every time I switched to POV, I was more and more excited. I didn't read a POV and be like, oh my God, can I like speed up? No, I was genuinely encapsulated, if that's a good word, with every single one of the characters, including the male love interest that we're all supposed to be with. Some more of the side characters. There's another little romance that happens within this romance that I really loved. So yes, this one was a 4.5 out of 5 stars. At the time, it was so close to being a 5-star. It just, I don't know, it just didn't give like a 5-star feeling. But I was obsessed with this book. I am obsessed with it. This one was good. So if you want a nice, fun Valentine's Day read, even like something romantic with a little twist, with a little heart, then I suggest The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. I'm going to be reading more Beth O'Leary after this, though. It was so good. My next read, you may have heard me talking about like 1 or 2 times. Like, I barely ever talk about this book. Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. Let me say, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Easy. I waited 3 years for this book. 5 out of 5 star. I waited my entire adult life for this book. It's a 5 out of 5 star for me. It is the 3rd and final book in the Last Hours trilogy. The last kind of Shadowhunter book we know we're getting. I know Cassandra Clare is starting kind of a new fantasy era in her life, which is just fine. I'm probably gonna take it and run and devour it. I cried like a baby. I cried so hard during and after, and I was like genuinely so upset that I had to close this and put it back up the shelf. I felt like I ripped my heart out, put it in the pages, closed it up, and put it back on the shelf. This book has my whole heart. This series, this world it's everything to me. It's everything. There was so much romance, so much drama. I was gasping. I was like gripping the wall. Like I had to put the book down. Like, this book is so amazing. My heart is so full reading this book. The world is so immersive. I cannot suggest reading these enough. They're just so good. If you love romance, if you love drama, if you like the 19th century, pick these ones up. Get in my world. Get obsessed. Because it's 5 out of 5. Chain of Thorns, baby. 5 out of 5. The next book I also was reading in a reading vlog, the same reading vlog as Chain of Thorns. I also read X's and O's by Amy Leah. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I love bookish people, and I love the bookish romance. In this book, we're following Tara, who I kept calling Emily for some reason, because I think she was reminding me a lot of Emily from The Do-Over, so I kept calling her. Anyway, her name is Tara. Following Tara, who's like a bookstagrammer. She's trying to find all of her ex-boyfriends to see if she can get like a second chance romance. Then we have Trevor, her roommate, who's also a firefighter. This book had like tension, it had spice, it had love. It was so funny. Laugh out loud, hilarious. I think I'm finding I like books that make me laugh so much. This one was so funny. I loved our character. I liked her sense of humor. I liked her interactions with Trevor. Trevor was also a dream come true. I was just really gushy all the time when I was reading them, and I just love their love. And it's kind of like a little series called the Influencers series. This is the second one. They're standalones. You don't have to read them all, but the first one follows her sister, and she is the younger sister, and I think the third one is supposed to follow their friend. I don't think I'm gonna read the first one, Set on You, just because I don't really care about gym influencers. I don't know if does that sound mean. I just think I liked Tara a whole lot more, and I might read the third one. We'll see. Well, I don't know. But this one was a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It also talked about The Bachelor a lot. Like, she got Trevor obsessed with The Bachelor, and that's my dream. I want to make a man love The Bachelor. 0.5 out of 5 stars. Can you tell I had a great reading month? Every book is either a 4, a 4.5, or a 5 star. Let's talk about The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. This book is a 4.5 out of 5 stars for me. And I'll tell you why it's not a 5, because it was really, 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 really close to being a 5. This one follows Callahan, the third and final brother in Dreamland Billionaires, where we're following the Kane brothers, who are like a kind of Disneyland thing. We follow Callahan. He deals with alcoholism, and his kind of clause for his part of the inheritance is that he needs to go to this house that he used to grow up in during the summers and sell it. Big issue though, because his childhood love slash girlfriend slash had his biggest love of his life also owns the house. So they now need to sell this house together and like spend the summer there fixing up the house so that he can sell it. Obviously they're still in love. So it's Callahan and Alana. Callahan carried this book. I did gasp at a few parts. I was like, ooh, little spice, ooh, little crazy. I just got annoyed with Alana. I got so, and it was specifically during the third act conflict. I liked her the entire rest of the book. She was like a badass woman making food. I want to be a baker. Like, she was cool. It was just, we got to the third act finale and I felt like she was trying to find reasons not to trust him. Like, he was doing everything in his power to get sober. He said he was going to do this. He said he was going to do this. And then like one tiny little thing that he couldn't even control happened. And she was like, no, I'm done with you. Get out of my, like, be so for real right now. Are you kidding me? You don't want Callahan to be anyway. I think another reason why it wasn't 5 was because this is like a small town second chance summer romance, and in a small town romance you get a lot of like the patrons of the small town, and I just really didn't like any of the characters in the town. I thought they were more annoying than anything. They just kept being like, you better treat our girl right, or who? Pal? Sal? And I'm like, his name is Cal. Leave him alone. You don't know anything. Stay out of their lives. I bet you have your own lives. You can tell I really care about this book. It's 4.5 out of 5 stars. Would have been a 5 if Alana was cooler and the townspeople were less annoying. But yes, I'm definitely going to go ahead and read more of Lauren Asher. I think, because like, I think I'm obsessed. I don't know if I mentioned this, but there's actual, do you smell that? Do you smell that? There's crack between these pages. 4.5. All right, the next book I read was Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Let me tell you, immaculate vibes. So Gossip Girl that this was like, it was crazy. Like, it was so Gossip Girl. For me, it's not very plot heavy. It's more characters and like their feelings, and that really like pushes you through the story. I didn't find this slow. I found it actually incredibly fast paced, because you're like, drama, drama, and it just kept going like that the whole time. I did tab this one. I didn't really like annotate it or write anything. I may have like written one thing. I specifically was tabbing this so that I can be obsessed with it. I do, however, feel like I don't love it and I don't hate it. I was just like obsessed. Like, I lived for the drama. I lived for the vibes. Anyway, I rated this 4 out of 5 stars. I couldn't give it anything higher. I couldn't even like point form or anything, because I don't know if it's just me. There were so many typos in this, like so many. I was like, how did the editor not go through this like one more time? Unless I was just given a copy that like is bad. I'm not sure, but like, did anyone else notice that? Or was it just me? Anyway, it didn't really matter too much. I liked the characters. I was like shooketh. I didn't cry like I've seen quite a few people do. However, I did just order Daisy Hates, the second Magnolia one. So I'm excited to get back into this world. I do need to read the rest. Would like to say that the next day after finishing said book, I woke up with a very sore neck from the whiplash that this story gave me. If you do choose to pick up this book, just be very cautious. It's very toxic. This isn't what love is, young people. This is not it at all. This is purely for drama and entertainment. We follow Magnolia and BJ. They've been childhood friends to lovers. Something awful happens, which now causes them to like want to hurt each other. So he like sleeps with other girls, and she has all these boyfriends to kind of make sure they can't get back together type of thing. We also have like kind of a found family aspect, because the group of people we're following went to boarding school together. These people are beyond rich. They're so rich and so bougie, and their problems are so first world, it's crazy. But like, it's Gossip Girl. Are you kidding me? 4 out of 5 stars. Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Kind of obsessed. The last book I read this month was Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score, the second book in the Knock 'Em Out series. Let me just say, I feel obsessed with this just a little bit. I feel just a little bit obsessed with this world and these characters. I just finished this last night. In this book, we are following Nash Morgan, who is the brother of Knox, who we follow in the first book. Then we have Alana, No. In this book, we have Angelina, because he calls her Angel. She's kind of like this badass lady. I'm not gonna spoil you what her job is. And then Nash in the last book, and it's kind of him coming back to life after that and being like, I can't protect everybody. How am I gonna protect all these people? And then it's kind of more, this one has more of like the crime mystery that we got like a touch of in Things We Never Got Over. We also get a lot of like the found family from them. This is what I love about Lucy Score, is that this series is following a small town, Knockamount, and I love that. I love every single character. I remembered every single one. I'm like, oh, there's them. Oh, there they are. Oh, like, I love the characters in this book. She writes people who are so relatable and so sweet and so kind, and like, ooh. We also, and let me tell you, I was reading this at work. Let's see my face when I read Lucy Score's note at the end of this book. I went, my heart still gets like a little, let me just read it for you. P.S. Lucian's book, wipes sweat from forehead, shoves computer into freezer to keep it from overheating. In the third one, we are getting Lucien and Salome, which we just found out is getting released in September. And that was the one we're all waiting for. Like, I know we're all collectively waiting for that one. But this one, I wasn't expecting a lot from, and it gave more than I needed. Like, it gave me so much more. I did not love it as much as the first one, but it gave us so much more. I liked these characters a lot more than I was thinking I was gonna get to like them. 4.5 out of 5 stars. This one was amazing. I'm sorry, I can't stop gushing about how amazing this reading month was. Blew me away, blew me out of the water. February, you're officially the best. I'm so happy that I got to read all these books. I found some new favorites. I found just like some wonderful reads. Can you see them all? These are the 9 books I read in February. Bless this month. So if you like any of these books, make sure to leave a little comment down below how you feel about all these books. My feelings are currently I want to hold them and not let go. If you liked today's video, please make sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, tell me how your day's going, tell me how the week's been. How was your month? Did you have a good reading month? Do you read any of the books? Do you like these books? I don't know, but I love you guys. I hope you give lots of love, give lots of kisses, and just have a great day. Bye, guys.